The Buddhist Path to Self-Acceptance Concise Version. Introduction. Many of us struggle with a deep-seated lack of self-acceptance. We constantly judge ourselves, feel inadequate, and seek external validation. This internal conflict creates significant suffering and limits our ability to live fully. How can we truly accept ourselves? Flaws and all, Buddhist teachings offer a profound path to authentic self-acceptance, not by changing who we are to meet impossible standards, but by understanding the true nature of the self and releasing the suffering caused by clinging to illusions about it. Body. The Buddhist path begins by examining the concept of the self or the ego. We tend to view I as a solid, unchanging entity defined by our identity, traits, history, and roles. I am like this. I did that. I prefer this. However, Buddhist philosophy teaches that this fixed self is an illusion of the self, a temporary construct. What we perceive as us is a constantly changing collection of physical form, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, known as the five aggregate skandhas. These components are inherently impermanent, anicca, and interdependent, arising and passing away moment by moment. The Buddha's teaching of non-self, anatta, asserts there is no permanent, independent self or soul underlying these changing elements. Like a river, the water is always flowing, never the same, yet we call it the river. Our self is a similar continuous flow. Clinging to the idea of a solid, fixed self creates problems. When we believe I is static, we attach it to expectations, I should be perfect, and judge ourselves harshly when reality doesn't match. I'm not good enough. This judgment arises from the gap between our ever-changing reality and the rigid image we try to maintain. This clinging to the illusion of the self and its desires is the primary root of suffering, dukkha. The Four Noble Truths, the foundation of Buddhist teachings, identifies suffering as a reality, first noble truth, and craving or clinging, tanha, as its origin, second noble truth. We crave what we think will enhance or protect our perceived self, praise, possessions, pleasant experiences, and push away what seems to threaten it, criticism, loss, discomfort. Clinging to an ideal self-image or societal expectations about who I should be traps us in dissatisfaction. When we experience failure, the suffering is compounded by the damage to our successful self-image. When criticized, the pain goes beyond the feedback. It's a threat to the good person identity we hold. This cycle of craving and aversion, fueled by the belief in a solid self, perpetuates suffering. The good news is that suffering can cease, third noble truth, and there's a path to achieve this fourth noble truth, the Noble Eightfold Path, relevant to self-acceptance. This path emphasizes the practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean apathy. It means not clinging tightly to things, including our thoughts, feelings, roles, and the rigid idea of the self. When we practice non-attachment to the self-construct, we stop trying to hold on to a fixed image. We accept ourselves as a fluid, evolving process, capable of both strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures, as natural parts of being human. This frees us from the heavy burden of trying to be someone we are not, creating space for acceptance. Two essential tools on this path are mindfulness, sati, and meditation, samadhi. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with awareness and without judgment. When self-critical thoughts arise, I'm so clumsy, mindfulness helps us notice them simply as thoughts passing to the mind, rather than identify with them or believe in them implicitly. We observe thinking is happening instead of, I am clumsy. This creates distance from negative self-talk. Meditation, particularly insight meditation, vipassana, cultivates deeper awareness and helps us directly see the impermanent and non-self nature of our experiences, including the components of the self. This practice weakens a habit of clinging to the self-construct and its accompanying judgments. However, self-acceptance also requires warmth and kindness. The cultivation of compassion, karu. Compassion is the wish for suffering to end for oneself and others. To achieve self-acceptance, we must extend this compassion inward, practicing self-compassion. When we struggle, make mistakes, or feel pain, instead of being harsh, we learn to treat ourselves with the same gentleness, understanding, and support we would offer a dear friend. The practice of metta, loving kindness. Meditation helps cultivate this. We begin by directing kind wishes to ourselves. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be free from suffering, and gradually extend this to others. Recognizing that suffering and imperfection are universal aspects of the human experience makes it easier to accept our own. For example, spilling something messy might trigger self-criticism. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge the frustration, but respond with kindness. Oops, that's annoying. Anyone can make a mistake. It's okay. As these practices develop, we learn to live with self-acceptance. This doesn't mean we become problem-free, but we navigate challenges with more peace and resilience. We are less driven by fear of judgment and more able to be authentic in relationships, leading to deeper connections. We can learn from mistakes without being crushed by them. Ultimately, living with self-acceptance leads to a more genuine, peaceful, and fulfilling life. Integrating it daily involves paying attention to self-talk, choosing self-compassion over criticism, and regular mindfulness/meditation practice. It is a continuous process requiring patience and kindness toward ourselves. Conclusion. In summary, the Buddhist path to self-acceptance is a profound journey of understanding the illusory nature of the self, recognizing suffering's origin in clinging, and practicing non-attachment, mindfulness, meditation, and compassion. It's about accepting ourselves with all our impermanence and imperfections, not striving for a static ideal. By letting go of the rigid self-image and meeting ourselves with kindness, we find inner peace and authentic self-acceptance. This path offers a transformative way to live more genuinely and peacefully, benefiting not only ourselves, but also our interactions with the world. It is a practice that requires dedication, but offers the invaluable fruit of true self-acceptance. Namo Buddha, thank you for watching the video. If you find it interesting, please like, share, and follow so that we have more motivation to make more good quality and useful videos for you. Goodbye and see you again. Namo Buddha.